New drug today is a hump day edition of the program. We'll talk some Jaguar football and a whole lot more. And a pretty toasty basketball game between the Gators and the Noles last night. That was
give FSU credit.
FSU's going to be pretty good. Now, again, we're trying to make all these determinations after seeing a very small sample size. They're not as good as Florida, but they sure played with them. And FSU's going to be good. They're going to be fun, Hayes. You know, some teams are fun. They're gonna be fun the way they play. I think I've got a good feeling about it.
Yeah, senior laden and
all new guys.
Yeah, took Florida right to the wire. So
and I will tell you, I'll talk all about Florida's team. I'll talk all about FSU's team, but because we love JU and UNF so much, you and I saw a lot of Rob McCray. You and I would sit at press row and talk about how he took over games. Remember, Hayes and I would sit. There's this one seat right in the front of the press row there. And who were they playing, Hayes? Lipscomb. When he took over a game and then he went out with foul. You and I were both sitting there.
Yeah.
And he was scoring every basket.
His plus minus had to be like plus 19 in a 4-point game.
That game we watched. Correct. Yeah. So Hayes and I are watching that, and last night in big boy basketball, and that doesn't mean that JU and UNF aren't, but in Power 4 basketball, he did the same thing. You know, he scored FSU's last 16 points.
Yeah, I mean
he scored their last 16 points
incredible.
In the game. Yeah, and so
he's a great player.
He really
It will be fun to watch how FSU hangs in the ACC race.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I think so too. I really do. I think they're a fun team to watch. Florida. Here's what I'll tell you about the Gators. And again, the sample size is small. They got to figure out the shooting. They just don't shoot it very well. It's only been 3 games now, and a lot can happen after 3. I mean, in the next 28 games, I get that. But they really didn't shoot the ball very well. They look like they just have a tough time making threes. Some teams aren't very good shooting teams, but boy, are they big up front. I mean, they're not only just like an NBA team. They're like an old school NBA team with all those 7'1" and 6'11" and they list Chinyalu as 6'10" and a half, but he plays like he's 7 foot, doesn't he? I mean, they have a big team, man. They are big, and Tommy Houck is like legit. I did, I wasn't sure. I wasn't buying it as fast as everybody else did. Shame on me. I mean, I don't have enough NBA knowledge. But doesn't he have to be a first-round draft? Doesn't he have to have at least the look of an first-round draft?
It seems like some of the buzz on him is late lottery.
Yeah.
Is
that right? Yeah, I can see that.
First.
Yeah, I mean,
something like
he's
that.
got that look to him. Yeah. So it was a really fun game to watch.
He's a real smart player too.
And he really is. It'd be 6'10" almost. He's got great range. So Florida didn't shoot it very well. The guards are fun to watch. Lee and Flan, they're good players. I don't know if they can shoot. Now, again, it's just been 3 games, and you can't determine anything.
I think they'll be fine in that regard. But, I mean, but to your once that piece gets figured out.
Yeah. Yeah, because they
get so many second chance opportunities.
I thought Luke Lauk said it best. Luke Lauk said after the game, he said, "You don't realize how big they are." He said, "We've seen it on tape. I mean, we watch plenty of tape to prepare for a game, but until you're at courtside, seeing how big they are. I mean, FSU, by the way, is pretty big. FSU starts 6'10", 6'10", and 6'7" up front. It's not like they're little, but Florida just is so big and fast and athletic. So they got to shoot the ball better. And again, that wasn't a fluke that FSU hung around with. FSU's pretty good. So it was a really fun game to watch. So I really enjoyed watching.
Yeah, I mean, really, like Florida, when you're 6 of 31 from distance, you're lucky to win the game.
Yeah, and Hayes, they've done that 3 games in a row.
Yeah.
They've been 7 of 27, 6 of 31, 6 of 29, all 3 games. So hopefully they can Klavzar, of all he can't do, hit a gigantic 3.
Mm-hmm.
That corner 3 late in the game that made it a 4-point game. So anyway, it was a really fun watch as we get closer to college basketball season. I will say this: I'd be lying if I told you I didn't have a feeling in the pit of my stomach when I watched a little bit of the Kentucky-Louisville game and watched Denzel Aberdeen. Did you see his numbers?
I did see his numbers, but still, like, he's going to have good games. It's can he consistently do that?
Yeah, I hear you. But he went for 26 against Louisville in a huge rivalry game. He's a good player. Hey, listen.
Well, again, Florida didn't chase him off.
That's right. He chose to leave.
He just wanted to go for more money.
But I hear you. No, I'm not faulting anybody. I'm just telling you. I don't know. I was hoping maybe he wouldn't be good there. I'm just being so. But what it underscores is how good those 4 guards they lost were. It underscores, I mean, if Aberdeen plays like that, he went for 26 against Louisville, by far the leading scorer at Kentucky. If he, Richard, Elijah Martin, and Walter Clayton, here's how good they were. They won the damn national championship, So anyway, so it'll be fun. It was a fun game to watch, really fun game to watch. Nerve-wracking if you're a Florida fan whose team was an 18-point favorite and you're holding on for dear life, but it was a fun game to watch. All right, other things we'll talk about today on the program. Brett Hastings will be with us momentarily. We'll have him by phone today. I want him to break down the whole Brian Kelly thing. I want him to break down the whole. Look, can LSU possibly win this cause thing? And I guess we don't know that because I guess we don't know everything they're going to claim he did or didn't do, right? But I think
they're just basically claiming that he abandoned the job.
Yeah.
Which.
Oh, that's stupid.
The whole. Again,
obviously,
Brett will give us
right.
the
when the AD says you're fired, go away.
Right, and then their argument is, well, he didn't have the authority to make that call.
Yeah.
Well, he's the athletic director,
right?
So of course he had the authority to make that call.
Yeah, common sense.
Yeah,
but I want Brett to tell us about what for cause really means and how many of those really take place in the workplace.
Well, and obviously we're seeing. I mean, this goes all the way to the governor's mansion. So how does that affect the legal system? I mean, if LSU gets the right. Judge in front of it or whoever would decide it, is it something that politically can trump the legal system in Louisiana? Because it seems like, to me, it almost seems like that's what LSU is banking on, is that this somehow gets in front of somebody that's, a LSU fan and rules in their favor, but legally it seems like it's a terrible argument.
So we'll have sports and course that comes up in just a minute. So we'll do that in just a bit with Brett Hastings. We got some Jaguar news, obviously. Brenton Strange back on the practice field. Boy, is that good news. And Devin Lloyd's had this great start to his season. Then he got his season derailed with an injury. Back on the field, you caught up with Devin. I'm interested to hear how he has managed all of that. The great start, then having to be away from it. So. What was Devin's mood today?
Yeah, great. I mean, it's always good catching up with Devin. But yeah, I mean, I think the main thing is how they responded from Sunday and staying in the moment of you have a huge game Sunday, a huge opportunity Sunday. So, but yeah, it was great catching up with Devin, and he gets into all that.
All right, a lot of football talk coming up. But first, we'll start with sports and courts. Brett Hastings joins us in just a moment. We'll talk about the whole Brian Kelly situation and how that thing's going to end. Got a lot to do. Glad you're with us on this Wednesday. Our Wednesdays always brought to you by our friends at Coyle & Sons Fence Company, the best fence company around, whether it's commercial fence, whether it's residential fencing. You call them at 904-356-4821. You can go to Coyle Jacks, that's COILE Jacks.com. They also do bathroom partitions. They do overhead doors. They do so much in the building industry. But, man, they're the best fence company around. Call Coyle & Sons if you get a chance to, if you have any fencing needs. We'll take a break. Brett Hastings joins us. Sports and Courts is next. Stay with us.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
4th and goal at the 1. They set up in the eye.
When you add up the moments and break down the best,
It's a hostile environment.
you're left with a performance-painting, high-performance play of the game
Up in the air, it is caught!
on 1010XL. Now, the Florida Gator Report on 1010XL, brought to you by San Jose Collision.
The Florida Gators defeated the Florida State Seminoles in basketball on Tuesday night, 78-76, marking the 5th consecutive win over their rival. As for the football team, the Gators will head to Oxford, Mississippi this Saturday to take on the 7th-ranked Ole Miss Rebels for a 7 o'clock kickoff, looking to dish the Rebs their first SEC loss of the season.
Hey, it's Frangie. Business owners, listen up. If your plumbing or AC company keeps giving you the runaround, it's time to cut them loose. Call my friends at Duck Duck Rooter. They already partner with some of the biggest commercial operations in Northeast Florida, like the Jaguars and station operations. Their office team makes invoicing a breeze, and their field techs, top-notch pros. Make the switch today. Duck Duck Rooter, a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Call 904-862-6769. 904-862-6769. Tell them Frank sent you.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On November 12, 1994, Prairie View loses 52-7 to Jackson State, breaking an NCAA Division I 2A record with 45 straight losses.
This is Hayes Carline from my friend Holt at Harold & Harold. There doesn't seem to be enough time in the day to get everything done. Then you get injured in an accident, and you don't know what you're going to do. Let Harrell & Harrell make it easy for you. Easy on becoming a client. You can just text or email if you want. Easy on finding a doctor and getting through the process. Hopefully you won't need them, but if you're ever injured, call Harrell & Harrell and make it easy on yourself. Call them at 904-251-1111. That's 251-1111.
Football season is here, and our hometown team isn't the only one ready to stack up the wins. At Beaver Toyota, Beaver Chevrolet, and Beaver Mitsubishi, you score big every time you shop with us. Thousands of vehicles, no flags, no fumbles, just hassle-free car buying and big wins with lifetime warranties, lifetime oil changes, and lifetime customer service. Plus, our wow pricing lets you celebrate a touchdown of savings. Beaver Toyota, Beaver Chevrolet, and Beaver Mitsubishi. We're here to wow you.
Calling all poker players. The leaves are falling, but the poker is hot at Best Bet St. Augustine. Cash in on all the excitement with InstaPay every day, game day lucky seats, and daily tournaments and high hand promotions. Then don't miss out on the $400 no-limit hold'em, $40,000 guaranteed St. Augustine Championship, November 29th. Best Bet St. Augustine off I-95, exit 311. For all the details, visit bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com.
Tired of wrestling with your shower curtain like it's a slip and slide gone wrong? Ditch the drama and say hello to a smooth, stylish glass shower enclosure from Baker Glass. Wago Glass is clean, elegant, and makes your bathroom look huge and brighter. Give your shower a makeover and feel like you're in a spa without the price tag. I'm Mac at Baker Glass. Call me and get ready to love your new shower. Let's make your shower great again. Remember, Baker Glass, no one treats you better.
I'm Clayton Bromberg, the president of Underwoods. One of the biggest changes we've seen in fine jewelry over the last 25 years has been the growth of jewelry designers. At Underwoods, we're the leader, bringing to North Florida the best names in designer jewelry. In fact, we carry designer lines in a similar way to how clothing stores carry designer labels. The difference is that jewelry designers have to be a little more timeless in their presentations because nobody wants to buy a fine piece of jewelry only to find out the next year it's gone out of style. That's why you'll find at Underwoods the best of the jewelry designer names, those that are tried and true and popular. Names like David Yerman, Roberto Coin, John Hardy, Marco Bichigo, Jude Francis, Lagos, Hippolyta, and a lot more are all available right now at Underwoods. So if you want the best looks in designer jewelry, stop by Underwoods. San Marco, Avondale, or the shops of Ponte Vedra.
XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
Now time for Sports in Courts, legal issues in the sports world with Brett Hastings from the Hastings Injury Law Firm. Hit back with Hastings.
All right, Brett Hastings joins us now by phone. Time for Sports in Courts. Frangie, Hayes, Carline with you. Brett, let's get right into it, brother. Great to have you on. They're firing Brian Kelly with cause, they say, after firing him 3 weeks earlier without cause. But now they're saying they didn't fire him 3 weeks earlier from 10,000 feet. What do you make of this? Looks like a disaster to me on the Bayou.
Yeah, that's exactly what we'd call it legally, a disaster. What's really interesting is it's Brian Kelly who's filed the lawsuit, okay? He went in and filed a lawsuit, and what they did it as a petition for a declaratory judgment. So that's a really, really important point. It's not asking for money or an injunction. He's asking for the judge to say, hey, I want you to make a determination as to whether or not LSU fired me without cause, right? And really, you don't have to look much further than the statement that the athletic director, who's no longer employed, right, who's going to probably be the most critical witness in this case, even though it's not going to go anywhere because LSU's legal footing is just so incredibly weak. But they're going to look back, and the statement that they released when they fired him, they said, when Coach Kelly arrived at LSU 4 years ago, we had high hopes that he would lead us to multiple SEC and national championships. Ultimately, the success at that level that LSU demands did not materialize. And that's what they said was the reason they fired him. The reality was they then went to him, realized they owed him $54 million under the contract, asked him to take 25 or some smaller amounts, and he said no. And they haven't really gone to, quote, now they've just started to insinuate to him, well, we're going to fire you for cause so you don't get your money. So what he did and his team and Trace Armstrong and some really good lawyers in Louisiana did is they proactively filed this lawsuit to go have the judge determine that, yeah, they fired him not for cause.
LSU obviously thinks that they've got a chance to win the case based on what? Political pressure?
Yeah, I think they're delusional. I think they've got no chance to win this.
Because otherwise, what's the point of having signed contracts?
Well, you see, more importantly is if you're going to terminate somebody for cause, and specifically in the state of Louisiana where you have a, quote, public job, they've got to, at the time they fire you, say that it was for cause, give you the reasons why. Under Brian Kelly's actual contract, it says he has a 7-day opportunity to cure. They haven't done any of that, okay? They haven't gone out and put him on notice. They haven't done the things that they needed to do to be able to fire him for cause. They're hoping to, like, throw a Hail Mary and try to get out of the $54 million, but it's not going to happen. And it's really a brilliant legal move to proactively go first, file the petition for the declaratory judgment. What can the judge really do there? You don't need to go and litigate all the other smaller individual issues, right? You're just going to point to those things. And then I think it's really important to note this athletic director who got fired by the same people, you know, what did he do? You know, they're going to have to say, well, whatever he was doing was without our authority. So, you know, the myriad of texts with other media members, all of those things would be evidence that would go to whether it was for cause or not for cause. And I just think that this is really a loser argument. And it's probably more symptomatic of the fact that they had one AD who was out. They've got a new AD in who was actually in the room when the other AD fired Brian Kelly. So I think that's a problem for him, and a governor who ordered the firing. So I just don't think they've thought out the legal ramifications of the positions they're trying to take.
Yeah, Brett, it really looks pretty simple. They don't want to pay the $50 million. They offered him $25, $30, wouldn't take it. So now they're going to try and rebuild the story that it was with cause. And I agree with you. Most people think they're going to lose it. But let me ask you big picture on these for cause situations. The one I can remember, Hugh Freeze was at Ole Miss, and he was caught calling escorts on his school-issued phone or whatever he did, and that violated the moral turpitude clause. So they did fire him with cause and didn't have to pay a buyout at all. Wouldn't something have to be that egregiously obvious, like it was with Hugh Freeze at Ole Miss, to fire someone?
Absolutely.
Isn't that what would have to happen?
Exactly. I mean, it's one of those things like, you know, get a DUI, commit a criminal act, you know, lie to the NCAA, those types of things. Not really something performance-based, right? It's not, you know, 7 and 5 isn't a reason for cause. The reason to terminate somebody for cause is that you think, you know, they've sexually harassed somebody that, you know, was a, you know, part of the program. They've like, you know, lied under oath, things like that. So, you know, and you got to know that at the time of the termination. You got to spell that out, right? Like you don't decide that later. So, you know, just think of the fact is that the lawsuit that was filed wasn't by them. It was by Brian Kelly here, right? And it's like, what are they going to do now? Send him a letter and say he's terminated for cause after the lawsuit? I just think that from a timing perspective, and there don't appear to be any other bad facts that anybody's aware of. And I think if there were, that's something that you would very clearly want to make known, and you want to make that known to everybody involved, at least the reasons for terminating him for cause.
And Brett, how does this look to the next attorney that's representing the coach they're trying to hire?
It doesn't look real good, or to the agents, you know. Everybody wants to, you know, say, hey, this Florida job is like the LSU job. I mean, at Florida, there wasn't even offset language in the contract. They're making a payment for half of it, and they gave somebody a long time, you know, to try to do good under the job. So I think those are the types of factors if I were a potential candidate and I was going to look at any of these schools. You know, Penn State, they go ahead and they pay out Franklin or any of these other people. I mean, I think that's going to be more agent driven. Typically, the lawyers are going to get involved to either, structure and do the transactional work for the job. I think this is the type of thing that resonates. And, here I know, Trace Armstrong represents Brian Kelly, but I don't think this is something that Jimmy Sexton wants to, hear or deal with himself. And so I think this is really going to send shockwaves through college football at the time that you wouldn't want this to be going on, right? Right now, while we have probably the most volatile coaching, job market that at least I've ever seen. What do you think, Frank?
Yeah.
It just doesn't seem like something you'd want to be going on.
No, I agree. I think it's a joke, and I think we all kind of agree with that. By the way, one final question. Generically speaking, if you had a coach that you owed him $20 million in a buyout and had no offset language, and then he showed up at his rival's practice to get him ready for Texas, is that cause? Could you fire him is that fired with cause?
Yeah, I think you'd lose in most of the counties, but I think you could win in Alachua County. So I would file it in Alachua Circuit Court, on an expedited docket.
And also, could a Louisiana judge that is a huge LSU supporter, could the judge basically say, well, I don't really care about I don't want my school to be on the hook for this, so I'm going to side with LSU?
Yeah, I have more faith in judges in that. Now, this was filed in Louisiana in federal court. I think if you were able to find out that somebody was a big booster or whatever, that they would have to recuse themselves and they wouldn't be the judge that's going to make the decision, Yeah. You'd probably want to go look for an Ole Miss judge or somebody else who ended up in the federal court of Louisiana.
I will say this: it ran through my mind too.
That to me is the only.
The governor's involved,
to me, that's the only path LSU would have to this.
Yeah, it ran through my mind too because, the dang governor's involved.
Right. And it's such a feeble argument. To say, well, no, we didn't fire him. He just decided to stop showing up, and now we formally have terminated him. It just it fails every sense of common sense.
Interesting stuff.
But what's going to happen is they're going to sit down. Their lawyers are going to dispense reality to all those that are involved. He's going to get his money. It's all going to be done and structured under, confidential settlement agreements. And I think because of the volatility of this job market, that's going to happen really soon. I don't see this being anything that's ever going to be protracted or litigated.
We'll see. It'll be interesting to see. That is Sports and Courts. My friend Brett Hastings from the Hastings Injury Law Firm. Thank you, Brett.
You got it.
All right. Hey, by the way, you being, even-keeled, mild-mannered like you are, I'm sure when you saw Billy Napier show up at Georgia, because they're friends, and you want your rivals to do well if you're not playing them.
I'm going to disappoint you here because is the guy not supposed to live his life? They're not.
Don't be that guy.
Well, they're not on the schedule.
Bro, I agree with you.
If he was showing up at Tennessee or Florida State. Yeah. And then maybe I could see Florida having but
you're saying
you
what I
fired
would say.
the guy.
Don't say what I would say.
I want him at Georgia. He's an idiot. So I hope Kirby Smart listens to everything he tells him.
You're saying what I would say. I wanted you to say you're mad. You want to fight
Billy
him.
Napier
I'm
can
so disappointed.
Live his life. Hey, I hope he stays at Georgia.
And by the way, you know he's going to wind up as running backs coach at Georgia or something. I said that 2 months ago. Running backs coach at Georgia. How will he do? You think?
Yeah.
You think he'll work on the game plan?
I hope he's in charge of the whole thing.
You think Mike
I
Bobo
hope he's Georgia's coach in waiting.
You think Mike Bobo will say, "Can you draw up some plays for us, Billy?" You don't think that's going to happen? Well, he's there.
He's there.
But what if Georgia goes?
What an offensive mind.
What if Georgia goes to the 2 tight end set? I think Georgia should.
Georgia's the only school that could probably do it and still be effective because they've got a litany of great tight ends. Meanwhile, at Florida, they've got no one in the tight end room can run a sub 540. But
that's because they weigh 290.
But I did think I saw, obviously Gator fans having a kind of a meltdown over Napier.
I'm so disappointed.
But it's like,
right
what's the guy supposed to do? To me, if he was going to Tennessee or Florida State, and maybe he is in private conversation, it doesn't matter anyway. Right.
I agree with you.
Yeah, does the season get worse if Tennessee or Florida State? The season's a disaster.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
he and Kirby are buddies. He went to the practice, but I was just so hoping you didn't feel that way. I'm so
my favorite comment was like, "Oh,
train coming."
I know that he's wearing his black shirt."
Yeah, that's right. I did see that one, by the way.
Kirby, soak up all that knowledge.
Well, the funniest
hopefully by osmosis, Kirby Smart gets dumber being in the same room with Billy Napier.
So, by the way, the funniest thing is the picture everyone's showing is the two of them talking. But it's at a Florida-Georgia game because there's Florida players behind them.
Oh, okay.
Everyone keeps showing the picture of them both in their black shirts.
Yeah.
Well, it was him wearing his black shirt.
That was so bad.
The Florida-Georgia
I mean, it doesn't make the team picture of all the bad things that Napier did, but you can't wear orange and blue. You're the Florida coach.
We'll take a break. I want you to hear from Devin Lloyd. Hayes caught up with him, does a terrific job in that locker room as he always does. Devin Lloyd, a big part of that Jaguars defense. It's going to be good to have him back. That's next. We'll talk some Jaguars football. Stay with us.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
This is your escape. This is your next adventure. This is Mazda, and this is Mazda at the Avenues. Lauren Brooks here. Right now, purchase any new Mazda model, and Mazda at the Avenues will match your down payment or your payments for 1 full year. Plus, every new Mazda comes with 3 years, 36,000 miles of maintenance at no additional charge to you. This is luxury, and this is the start of something new. This is Mazda at the Avenues. For complete details, call 904-430-8047.
Frank Frangie here for South State Bank. At South State, they believe strong relationships build strong businesses. That's why they take the time to understand your goals, challenges, and vision so they can provide solutions tailored to your needs, like they've done for me for years. South State has always been there for our business and our charity. With a team you can trust and a commitment to personalized service, South State Bank is here to be more than your bank. They're your partner in business. Visit southstatebank.com. South State Bank, member FDIC.
Hey, this is Lauren Brooks. With over 1,700 five-star Google reviews, it was a no-brainer to have Closets by Design help us get organized at home. They create custom storage for every space, lifestyle, and budget. From closets to garages to laundry rooms and more. Closets by Design will transform clutter into seamless organization. Call today to schedule your free in-home consultation before the holidays and get 40% off plus an extra 15% off with free installation. 18-month financing is available. Call 878-9393 or visit closetsbydesign.com.
Hi, I'm Sean Monahan from Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach. Since 1977, we've been Jacksonville's local family jeweler with a beautiful selection of fine jewelry and certified diamonds. But we're also Jacksonville's leading buyer of gold, silver, and diamonds from the public. Gold has recently hit an all-time high at over $3,600 per ounce. Pay bills, buy something fun. Now is the time to sell your gold for cash and get top dollar, or trade it in for a new piece and get even more value at Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
It's time for the Plumbing 411 from Superior Plumbing and Pipelining. Clogged drains happen when grease, soap, hair, and debris build up over time. Even tree roots can invade your pipes. All this leads to the annoying water pooling in your sink or tub. Superior Plumbing and Pipelining has the tools and know-how to clear stubborn clogs and keep them from coming back. Don't ignore a slow drain. It could lead to bigger problems. Make the superior choice when your drains are clogged and learn more at superiorplumbingjacks.com.
Hey, Hicken here. This episode brought to you by Prize Picks. You and I make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right gets you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement this football season. Simple to play. You pick more or less on at least 2 player stats. If you get your picks right, you cash in. On Prize Picks, how you play is up to you. You want flexibility? Choose Flex Play, where you can get paid even if one of your picks misses. And if you want the biggest payouts, go for the Power Play. No matter your play, Prize Picks is a great way to put your takes to the test. Prize Picks also offers injury reboots. When your player leaves the game in the first half and doesn't return, Prize Picks doesn't count it as a loss. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use code 1010XL. Get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That is code 1010XL to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, man. It's good to be right.
This football season, Hurricane Grill and Wings is your game day getaway. Catch every play with the perfect drink in hand. Handcrafted cocktails like the Millionaire Margarita, Spicy Guavarita, Old Fashioned, or the Red Bullerita. Beer more your style to watch the games? Enjoy an ice cold Bud Light. Game day cocktails and Bud Light specials are here all season long at Hurricane Grill and Wings. Find a restaurant near you at hurricanewings.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
Back to a Coyle & Sons Wednesday. Since 1927, they've been around the block and probably fenced it, too.
You can call my friends at Coyle & Sons, 904-356-4821, or Coyle Jacks at CoileJacks.com, the best fence company around. Call them today for all your fencing needs. Frangie and Carline with you. You know what's interesting? We had this conversation, Hayes. Everybody tried to run off Devin Lloyd. Ventrell Miller was going to beat him out. He didn't play very well. He didn't look like he did at Utah. And kind of like Travis Etienne, we had the same conversation about him. He had a heck of an offseason. He got in a defense that fit him. And frankly, he was probably the best defensive player in the NFL for about a month and before he got hurt.
Yeah, he was AFC Defensive Player of the Month.
Playing at a great level, wasn't he?
Without a doubt, yeah, in September. And obviously dealt with the calf, and that slowed him down. But it was good to see him back out on the field. And look, he still leads the NFL in interceptions. I mean, that's astonishing, A, for a linebacker, and B, for a linebacker that's missed games. That's the season that Devin Lloyd is still embarking on. I mean, it's incredible to me that, it's a little bit incredible that 4 picks leads the NFL still this deep into the season. Maybe that speaks a little bit to how the offensive game is just completely taken over for the most part. I know last week we saw a couple 10-7s in primetime, but these offenses are really doing a good job of avoiding the pick. But Devin Lloyd's still right at the top of the NFL heap in terms of interceptions.
It's great to have the former Utah Ute back on the field. Hayes caught up with Devin earlier today.
Now, Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors takes you in the locker room.
We're pleased to be joined with Jaguars linebacker Devin Lloyd here on 1010XL 92.5 FM. Man, it's great to see you. How you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm doing great, thanks. What was it like getting out on the practice field day and starting to, kind of flush the Texans' loss?
Man, definitely good. Like you said, just to get last week behind us and focus on this week.
Were you pleased with how guys came back?
Oh, yeah. I think everybody's just locked in on today, locked in on the moment, getting better at their craft, and obviously prepping to have a great week this week.
What was it like for you being back on the field?
It was awesome. I love ball. I love being with the guys. So for me, it's always a joy being out here.
They've got the Chargers have quite a versatile offense. What stands out to you when you watch LA?
Yeah, just their willingness to run the ball. Obviously, they got fullbacks. You don't really see that often. So they're going to try to hammer the ball. And obviously, Herbert's arm, his ability to make plays, get the ball to his playmakers. They got guys, really all over the place in the receiving game that can make plays, get the job done. So just all-around offense.
In third down, they've been exceptional. And Herbert's mobility kind of contributes to that. That's sort of an underrated, maybe aspect of his game. But when you watch him on film, does that stand out, his ability to run, use his legs?
Absolutely. Like you said, use his legs. He's faster than you think. He's a big dude, but he can still run, kind of like Trevor. And he can extend plays, so he keeps his eyes downfield to extend plays, but he can also pick it up with his legs as well. So that's something we got to be aware of.
How exciting is it that you guys are right in the mix of this thing? If you've already got a win over the Chiefs, have the tiebreaker against them. If you win Sunday, you got the tiebreaker over the Chargers, and you guys are right in this race. 2 games still to go against the Colts.
Yeah, it is exciting. Obviously, we want to have, extended that gap a little bit, but, like we always talk about, everything is right in front of us, and, we still have control of our destiny. So for us, it's, making sure that it stays that way.
What's it been like playing with Foye?
Man, Foye is my guy. We've had our relationship has just grown every year, and it's been great playing with him. He's obviously a hell of a player, really smart guy, and it's just fun playing with somebody who strives to be their absolute best, on the field. We have the same mentality, and just love playing with him.
And Gardeck's really starting to contribute. Had a tackle for loss the other day, providing kind of some speed rush. What do you like about Dennis's game?
Yeah, he's just a versatile Swiss Army knife. He's obviously our Sam. He comes in 4 down, and he's an extra rusher and really smart. I think, people, don't really understand because they're not in our meetings how smart he is as a football player. He's been around, like I said, Swiss Army knife. So just a guy that, we're grateful to have.
It's odd to go 5 weeks without a home game. How excited are you just to be back in front of these fans?
Yeah, I was just thinking that. I love playing at home. I love playing on our field and in front of our crowd. So definitely I'm looking forward to that. Yeah.
What do you remember about the wild card win over the Chargers?
Just the crowd, how loud it was. It was an amazing atmosphere. Definitely a game that I'll never forget. And then obviously, when we went down, I was still a rookie, so I didn't really realize, we're really down, a lot. People don't come back from this. But in my head, I'm like, okay, we got some work to do, and I think it was the same mentality for everybody. It's like, okay, we got some work to do, but it was no flinch, and we just kept putting together drives. And I still remember, when Travis ran to the sideline, stayed in bounds, and, that field goal went through. That was a crazy moment. So
Absolutely. Devin Lloyd, thanks so much for your time. Best luck on Sunday.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, hopefully it'll be another wild Jaguars win on Sunday over the Chargers. Maybe the Chargers just have a little bit of a jinx. It's hard to believe they haven't met since then. You know, both being in the AFC and with how the rotations work, it's funny. But that was a spectacular moment.
It's such a big game because if you win this game, again, it's a take notice game. The Chiefs were a take notice win. The 49ers at the time were a take notice win. This would be a take notice win. More importantly, it'd be a win in the standings. Then you're 6-4, and I know we said this last week about 6-3, but you're 6-4 with 7 to play. A number of those in which you will be the favored team. So if you get to 6 wins, I think Bucky Brooks said it right yesterday. Hayes. You got to somehow try and get to 10. That's the goal. Try and get to 10. If you get to 6 now with 7 left, and at that point you need to go 3-4. Or correction, you need to go 4-3 against a schedule with a lot of teams against whom you will be favored. There's no debating you'll be favored. The home game against the Jets, the home game against the Titans. I think you're going to be favored at the Titans. That'd be my expectation. That's 3.
Maybe favored at Arizona.
Yeah, and home against the Colts, the way you've played against them, if you get to where you're 6 or 7 wins at the time. So yeah, and you're right. Maybe a road favorite against Arizona playing Jacoby Brissett. So man, this is a big game, and you've said it right. I hope the fan base shows up, but this is a great opportunity because if you don't win this one, then you're 5-5. Then you've lost 4 out of 5. Then the only one you would have won in your last 5 is an overtime game against a struggling team. The narrative is so different. And this is just this one game. Look,
this is a narrative game.
Yeah, it really is. Because you and I both said this before Houston and the Chargers. Would you take a split? We both said, you take a split right now. Well, you win and you get the split. It's a game that affects the narrative greatly.
Without a doubt. And again, the thing that I would say, again, to fans that are upset with the state of the Jaguars is, it's a flawed bubble in the AFC. Once you get beyond the top 3 Indianapolis, Denver, and New England are all 8-2, and as much as I think the Colts could still come back to the pack a little bit, they're not going to just collapse. They're not going to finish 9-8 when they're 8-2 now, going into their bye week this week. So, but beyond that, the Steelers are the 4 seed. They're 5-4, and they are. They have a ton of issues. The Ravens aren't even in the playoffs right now. They're 4-5. So the North's probably only going to get one team. So whoever wins between the Steelers and Ravens, probably going to be the Ravens. The Chargers are 7-3. But if you beat them, they're 7-4. They then take their bye week, but you've got the tiebreaker over them. The Bills are 6-3, and we'll see. My guess is the Bills will have staying power, and the Bills will be in the playoffs either as the wild card or they'll catch the Patriots. But then you get to the 7th spot. The Jags are the 7th seed now at 5-4. The Chiefs are out at 5-4. You have the tiebreaker over the Chiefs. The Chiefs have to beat the Jaguars in the standings, and the Chiefs have by far a harder path. They've got a better team, I think, even though the Jaguars won. Obviously, I think most people would take the Chiefs over the Jaguars. But nonetheless, the Jaguars have the tiebreaker and an easier path. Houston's 4-5 with a brutal schedule remaining. We talked about the Ravens at 4-5, and that's it. Nobody at 3. Cincinnati at 3-6, they're dead. They're not coming back from that. And then obviously, as you go down the line, the Dolphins are 3-7. They just beat the Bills, but they're done. And the Jets, Raiders, Browns, Titans are done. So you are right in this mix. Even if the Jaguars collapse, they're going to basically be like the first or second team out of the tournament. I mean, that's just where the AFC race has gone. So if they get a win, they're in fantastic shape to make the tournament, which would be a miraculous achievement for Baselli, Gladstone, and Cohen, particularly considering the nucleus they took over has just disintegrated, in front of them. It'd be an incredible achievement if the Jaguars have a winning record, make the tournament, but they got to win Sunday.
We'll take a break. We've got headlines on the other side. Stay with us.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show. From the Harrell and Harrell studio, don't settle for less than you deserve.
Catch high school football play-by-play on 1010XL.
Bishop Kenny's big season brings them a home playoff game against Wakula. Friday night at 7:30 on 92.5 FM. Bulls' quest for a 12th state championship begins against Walton. Friday at 7 on 1010 AM.
Frank Frangie here. Nimnick Chevrolet is proud to be an 8-time Chevrolet Dealer of the Year recipient, the only dealership in Northeast Florida to ever win this prestigious award. Earned by treating customers with courtesy, respect, and fairness, all part of Nimnick's Treating You Right guarantee. Visit nimnickchevy.com to learn more. For 3 generations, Nimnick has been the place customers keep coming back to. I've been buying my vehicles from Nimnick since 1982 because they care about their customers and are invested in our local community, including supporting walk-off charities, and all we're trying to do to help underprivileged kids learn to play baseball. Treating you right, giving back to the community, more choices and better prices for you. So who has put the most years and stands behind a better experience? The answer is simple. Nobody but Nimnick. Visit their showroom off Cassett Avenue or shop 24/7 at nimnickchevy.com. Head to Nimnick today. Chevrolet, together let's drive.
Welcome to the Bundle event. Entering now our undisputed tag team champions, the mid-size SUV and the mid-century modern. Together with a State Farm agent, this auto and home duo are a powerful force of savings, service, and customizable coverage. Now, let's get ready to bundle.
Call State Farm agent Brandon Thomas in St. Augustine at 904-342-3459.
Availability and amount of discounts and savings vary by state.
Put a little hot sauce on your lunchtime listening. Spicy. Joe Coward, Matt Hayes, and Leon Searcy. They are XL Prime Time.
4-alarm fire.
From the big #1 Duval Ford Studios. Noon to 2 weekdays on 1010XL.
Jacksonville, get ready to spice up your night at One Night Taco Stand every Taco Tuesday. Enjoy their mouth-watering tacos for just $3.49 and all day, every day, 2-for-1 house margaritas and 2-for-1 daiquiris. Find fresh Mexican street food, stiff drinks, and fun vibes at One Night Taco Stand with 3 Jacksonville locations in Mandarin, Orange Park, and Southside at Bay Meadows.
Hey, Hicken here. Cooler weather right around the corner. So are you ready to float happy in the pool? Listen up. This month, Surfside Pools offering 10% on new pool heaters or heater replacements and installation. That's right. Now is the time to upgrade your pool heating system and extend that swimming season for months of extra enjoyment. Only from Surfside Pools, the trusted name for expert pool service. Family owned and operated. Call 246-2666 or visit surfsidepools.net.
License number CPC 044080.
I love my propane company. They always answer when I call and give me great prices and fast service. Said no one ever.
Until now. Need propane for your home or business? Seabreeze Propane is bringing the propane as North Florida's new local propane provider. Visit SeabreezeLP.com. Seabreeze Propane. We make propane cool, brother. Oh, yeah.
Football season is all about hanging at home and watching the big ball games. Well, if your AC and heating unit is letting you down and keeping those electric bills sky high, think about getting a new energy-efficient AC unit from Florida Home AC. They've got great deals on replacements plus rebates and incentives to make it more affordable. Call Florida Home AC at 777-4300 and get their expert staff to take a look. Football season is all about fun and playing for the win. Make sure you have the winning team on your side with Florida Home AC.
I'm Holt Harrell with Harrell & Harrell. Choosing a law firm after an accident is an important decision. With so many messages, we know it can all sound the same. At Harrell & Harrell, we believe what sets us apart is our commitment to you. We'll help you find doctors to get you better, and we'll work hard to maximize any recovery. Visit our website and look at our reviews to see how we've helped people just like you make this important decision. Harrell and Harrell. Offices, Jacksonville.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Gather round. It's Hayes' Headlines, presented by Harrell and Harrell. Don't settle for less than you deserve. Hear all about it. Here's Hayes Carline.
We had so much fun hanging out last night, my wife Jean and I, with Holt and his wife Jessie. We got to see the Wallflowers.
Good concert?
Yeah, Ponte Vedra Concert Hall. They did a great job with the renovation.
I've never been there before or since, but I want to go. I heard it's great.
It's fantastic. It's a really cool venue. So, if any band ever goes there that you guys are interested in seeing, I would highly recommend it. But yeah, we had a great time, had a wonderful time, and we're going to watch the Gators game with them on Saturday. So that'll be a lot of fun as well. We're welcome back in. The Black Clouds.
Yeah.
Going back to the Harrell house because now the season's over. So there's really no pressure.
And I think the Gators have a great chance to beat Ole Miss on the road. So that'd be great.
Yes, absolutely.
You'll have a good time.
Yeah. By the way, Harrell and Harrell 251-1111. They'll take great care of you. Frank, let's start with Jaguars Chargers and let's look at the quarterback matchup. Justin Herbert versus Trevor Lawrence. It's interesting. This is the first meeting since the Jaguars wild card comeback. And they've kind of taken different paths, but this is a big opportunity for Trevor Lawrence to make a statement if he is able to outplay Justin Herbert.
Yeah, look, Trevor's had some moments that aren't great. He's also had some moments that are very good. What a great chance. Look, he head-to-head, he beat Patrick Mahomes. Say what you want, he beat Patrick Mahomes.
Pretty good.
If you get Patrick Mahomes and Justin Herbert on the same resume year, that's pretty good. It's a great opportunity for Trevor. It's a great opportunity for the Jaguars. We said it earlier. It's a big game coming up on Sunday.
Absolutely. Liam Cohen met with reporters today and talked about Travis Hunter's season-ending knee injury in a little bit further detail. Was also asked about Travis Hunter's future as a two-way player and gave this response.
All that's very premature to answer at this point. You have a lot of confidence in the makeup, the person, the competitor, the athlete, the talent. Like I said, so many players have gone through minor setbacks for major comebacks, and that's been the complete message to him.
We're going to talk about this probably 8 billion times between now and training camp, Frank, but what do you think they should do?
What they've done all along. Same thing I said the day they drafted him. My mind has not changed at all. I think you affect the game more as an offensive player than you do as a defensive player. I think in today's day, so I would have him a regular on offense, and I would put him on defense on get off the field downs, third down, fourth down, red zone downs, late in the game downs. I've said that from day one. I've never wavered from that. That's what I believe they should do. I do believe in today's day and age, the injury was a freak injury. He didn't get hurt because he was playing too many positions. I think in today's day and age, you can do that some. Not a lot. I don't know that he can play 90 plays every game when he plays every down on both, but I do believe you can be a regular on offense and go in on defense when they need you. I've said that from day one, and I'll stand by it.
Good news for the Jaguars on the injury front. Tight end Brenton Strange back at practice. His window to be activated has commenced. Be good to get him out there. He met with reporters, did a scrum in the locker room, and 1010XL has that on digital, so be sure to check that out. What a lift that would give this team if he is able to be active on Sunday. It seems like if he's practicing, he looked good out there, so I would think the odds are the Jags will have him.
He's one of their best players.
Yeah.
Nobody realizes that because Evan Ingram was here all those years, and he's a tight end, and he's a really good player. He's a great blocker. He's a great pass catcher. He's good after the catch. Brenton Strange was starting to emerge. See, we never saw him before because of Evan Ingram. We saw him in a backup role, or he was the inline tight end when Ingram was off the line and was the move tight end. We've never gotten a chance to really see Brent. I tell you, Jeff Lagerman raves about him. People in that building rave about him. We never got a chance to see what a really good player he was going to become because he was sort of behind Ingram all those years. And then when he starts to emerge this year, he gets hurt early in the year. I think it helps immensely. That's a big lift getting him back.
Absolutely. Let's get it to around the NFL. The Giants will start Jameis Winston at quarterback with Jackson Dart in concussion protocol. Russell Wilson demoted to number 3.
Yeah, the end is near for Russ. I was a big Russ fan all those years in Seattle. He's one of my favorite players. He had a very dynamic playing style. He's got a Super Bowl ring and frankly should have 2 if they make a better play call at the 1-yard line. But it looks like the end is near. He's had a wonderful career. It's clear there's not much left with Russ Wilson. It's very clear. I watched him last year. He wasn't very good at the beginning of this year. I'm not even surprised that Winston, who's much younger, has been moved ahead of him.
And Jameis may do some things.
Yeah.
I mean, he
He's a
makes
veteran
plays.
player.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see if the Giants can play spoiler. And we don't know. This could just be one start. We don't know how long Dart will be in the concussion protocol. Cardinals receiver Marvin Harrison Jr. had an emergency appendectomy and will miss Sunday's game. Keep in mind that Jaguars travel to Arizona next week. So the Jaguars already know they're not going to see Kyler Murray. May not see Marvin Harrison Jr. either.
Yeah, and I'm not saying it just because I'm a Jags fan, but you're not going anywhere. If you're in a season where this going nowhere, why would you ever rush your guy back from an appendectomy? You know, and I know I've seen it happen. It's happened here where players play soon thereafter. But if you're battling for a playoff spot, I get it. But if it's another season where you're not, why would you rush him back?
Absolutely. In the world of college football, the playoff rankings were announced. The updated playoff rankings were announced last night. Ohio State, Indiana, Texas A&M, Alabama, and Georgia remain the top 5, so no real change. But it seemed like the Hurricanes got good news. They got moved up.
Yeah, and I think the Hurricanes should be a playoff. I think Miami's a playoff team. Watching them play, I think they're a playoff team. I don't know if they're going to get in. I think they got to win out and then hope. But I think Miami's a playoff team. I agree with you. It's interesting. Hey, we may be looking at 6 SEC teams and 6 SEC, 3 Big Ten would be my guess today.
Yeah, it's gonna, if there's no carnage in November, if chalk kind of holds up, and I kind of feel like it has.
Yeah,
I mean,
me
there have been some upsets,
right?
But it doesn't feel like we've had a lot of those real stunners. Maybe they're coming, but yeah, it seems like we might be headed towards kind of the way it is now. What it might be the final standings. We'll see. In the world of college basketball, the Gators edged the Noles 78-76 in Gainesville. What were your takeaways from both sides?
I like both of them. I think FSU's better than everybody thought they'd be. Luke Laux is going to be fun. They're going to play fast. They're going to shoot. They're going to get up. It's going to like watching Tennessee play football. They're going to shoot the first shot they get. They're going to shoot it quick. They're a bunch of portal guys, as you would have expected, long and athletic. I think they're going to be a problem in the ACC for teams. Florida's got a great front court, bigger and more physical than I could ever imagine. They didn't shoot the ball very well. I worry. And again, it's only 3 games, so things change. A lot of times you don't shoot the ball for a while until you kind of find your rhythm and chemistry of playing together. But it has been 3 games where they've shot the ball miserably. If they shoot the ball well, they're going to be one of the best elite teams in the country. If they don't, it could be a tough year in a brutal conference. So I'll be interested to continue to follow this story, starting with Sunday night in Jacksonville against Miami.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a lot of fun. We will get you out with today's musical note. Today, we're going to give a hat tip to U2 because on this date, back in 1988, U2 hits the top of the charts with its album Rattle and Hum. The album would be #1 for 6 weeks, selling over 14 million copies. This is Desire.
One of the great rock bands of all time, no question about it. Bono and the Boys, that is U2. We'll take a break. Coming up in about 20 minutes, the State Farm College Football Report. But before that, we'll talk a little bit about the coaching search. A lot of college football coming up. Stay with us.
Hey Jacksonville, Rick Ballou here. Looking for a brand new truck? Right now, Crew Cab Ram trucks start at just $38,900 at Jacksonville Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Westside. And every new retail purchase comes with a lifetime powertrain warranty and no extra cost. From tough Ram trucks to adventure ready Jeeps, they've got the perfect ride waiting for you. Stop by Commonwealth Avenue or shop online at jackswest.com. Jacksonville Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Westside, proud partner of the Jaguars.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
It's the one they put in high gear.
Keep going. We got to keep going, keep going, keep going.
It's the Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville Drive of the Game. Drive to the game in luxury with Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville on 1010XL.
Are you 18 years or older, just got married, just got divorced, or have children? Listen up. Have you done your last will and estate planning? If you have questions, call Matt Hinson with the Hinson Law Firm. Reach him at 527-1700, offices Jacksonville, Florida. And don't let the state decide your fate.
Bring your marketing to the next level with 3D Digital, your local video production and digital marketing agency that specializes in ensuring your brand story is seen, heard, and remembered. Our award-winning team creates professional content that will be launched across multiple platforms to precisely target your audience. Call us at 904-712-4004 or visit 3ddigital.com to define, design, and deliver exceptional results for your business.
The calls have been pouring in.
It's the strongest phone connection on the First Coast. The Checkmate Coatings phone line covers you with expert interviews from around the country and your opinions and comments from here at home. All day, every day on 1010XL.
Plumbing problem? AC acting up? Septic tank trouble? Don't waste time calling 3 different companies. Just call Duck Duck Rooter. We offer plumbing, septic, and air conditioning services. Call 904-862-6769.
WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach. Jacksonville's building a fence along the goal line. This is the Superior Fence and Rail Defensive Player of the Game. Superior Fence and Rail, where quality matters.
Jarian Jones was sensational over the weekend for the Teal and Black. The Jacksonville cornerback had 4 tackles versus Houston, as well as 2 passes defended, and pitched in an interception on what was an incredible day. Performances like this should give 22 more time on the field, and he's your Superior Fence and Rail's defensive player of the game.
You waited forever for your new fence. Then strangers show up. Subcontractors rushing the job. Sent by the company you trusted. Frustrating, right? Superior Fence and Rail promises better. They're professionally trained builders. Deliver quality you can trust. No subcontractors, no shortcuts. Just the superior craftsmanship your home deserves.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
Hey, bro, weirdest thing is happening at the game. Every time I crack a Bud Light, we score a touchdown. I think I'm some kind of football prophet.
Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Stock up today. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025 Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hi, Frank Frangie for Ricketts Electric. Any good lineup needs power. When we needed power at the Bregan Baseball Complex and all the fields we have at Fort Family Park, we trusted Ricketts Electric. You're going to love these guys. The Ricketts family has been providing commercial and residential electric service for years. Call my friend Zach today at 904-320-5960. You can also find them on Facebook and at rickettselectric.com. Ricketts Electric, the city's best power connection. Call them today at 904-320-5960.
Introducing the Jags Stack at Firehouse Subs. A sub so bold, we had to name it after the team that roars. Packed with protein and made to satisfy a football-sized appetite. It's stacked with honey ham, smoked turkey, and roast beef. Topped with provolone fresh veggies and our new Duval drizzle. Order the new Jags Stack in the app right now. Available for a limited time at participating Jacksonville Firehouse Subs restaurants. The hottest subs in Duval!
Keeping kids active is a full-time job for parents, so let I-9 Sports help. They've got winter and spring registration open right now for kids all over the First Coast to enjoy their favorite sports. Log on to i9sports.com and don't miss out on the upcoming seasons. Enter 1010 in the promo code.
I'm Max Fink with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. Last night, the Florida Gators men's basketball team won their 5th consecutive matchup with their in-state rival, the Florida State Seminoles, 78-76, as Thomas Houck was the Gators' top scorer with 20 points, 13 rebounds, and 3 assists. The 5-6 Orlando Magic are on the road tonight as they'll take on the New York Knicks in Madison Square Garden for a 7 o'clock tip-off. It's 66 degrees at 5 o'clock time in Temp, brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
Back to a Coyle & Sons Wednesday. Since 1927, they've been around the block and probably fenced it, too.
The number to call from my friends at Coyle & Sons is 904-356-4821. CoyleJacks.com is the website. They're doing some more work for us out at the Bregan Baseball Complex starting in December, so we sure appreciate our friends from Coyle & Sons. They are really good at what they do. What about the irony that we've all talked about it, but that Lane Kiffin, by all accounts, is going to have the opportunity to be the next Florida coach. I think he's going to be the next Florida coach. I think they're talking. In fact, I know they're talking.
and I think it's going to be. I think he's going to get the offer. He's going to say yes. Even if he doesn't, there's no debating the fact that he's going to have the chance to take it. What an irony that he plays them.
It's incredible.
I mean, they play Saturday night. He's possibly coaching against a team that will be his employer maybe within the month. Because if it happens, by the way, I don't think it'll be after the playoffs. I think if it happens, I think you'll see an announcement after the regular season before the playoffs start. That's my opinion. I think you'll see an announcement right after Thanksgiving weekend. That's when I think you're going to see it.
Ole Miss plays the Egg Bowl November 28th. That's their regular season finale,
Is it a Thursday,
obviously.
Friday this year, or is it the actual on the Saturday? For a
28th.
lot of years, it used to be the Thursday every year. I think they moved it, right?
It's a Friday. Yeah,
It's a Friday.
Honestly, it's 2 weeks from Friday.
Yeah, remember,
So-
it used to always be the Thursday night game, and
Right.
then they moved it to the Friday.
I think because the NFL started
That's
doing a
right.
night game.
That's probably right. Yeah, that's right. So my expectations will be that he's going to be the Florida coach that weekend. I think you're going to see an announcement that weekend. But nonetheless, how weird is it that he's on the opposing sideline, and Florida fans watching that thing? It's going to feel weird because you want to win.
Yeah.
It's a night game. You're probably not going to win.
You definitely want to beat them.
Yeah.
You want to knock them out of the playoffs.
Well,
so
that's
then
right.
Then it eliminates a lot of the logistical headaches of this whole
it's a
thing.
great point, but it's just a weird feeling.
It is. And look, I think it helps Lane. Let's assume, again, for the point of the conversation, that Kiffin accepts the Florida job. Well, I mean, you've been game planning. I mean, he's basically working for Florida in a way this week, because every time he watches Florida film to get his Ole Miss team ready to beat Florida, he is, in a sense, working on next season. And who do I want to keep and who do I want to move off of? And, and so it will allow him to hit the ground running, having seen this team up close for 60 minutes of football. I think it can only help, but it is, I don't know that we've ever seen in typical Lane Kiffin fashion in his career, I don't know that we've ever seen anything more awkward.
Right.
I mean, and
he's the king of awkward.
And he's the king of awkward. I mean, he's had that kind of a career. He's, Tennessee's burning couches when he leaves. USC's firing him on the tarmac. He's making kind of goofy videos at FAU. Al Davis trashes him, and he's the coach of the Raiders. Like, he, ends up going to Ole Miss and, turning his, kind of life around. And so, I mean, it's just been, it's fitting that it's about as clunky as it can be. But at the end of the day, I think if you're Florida, you see Lane Kiffin and you see a beautiful solution to what has been a 15-year football problem. Because I don't know anybody that thinks Kiffin won't do anything but win at a consistent level at Florida. I mean, no one's going to sit here and predict national championships and SEC championships. But in terms of fixing their football problem, it would be stunning if Kiffin takes that job and is out in 4 years.
Yeah, I think, barring something goofy, and he's that goofy around him some, but
from a just purely like
right.
X's and O's,
yeah, he's a really
like
good coach,
wins
yeah.
and losses.
Yeah,
it would be surprising if with
winning.
that job, if a coach with that offensive acumen, and obviously he's figured out how to build programs. It'd be stunning if he's not a huge success at Florida.
Well, he's winning 10 games every year at Ole Miss. Right. That's the reality. About 3 weeks ago, or 2 weeks ago, whatever it was, I gave you my coach who would land what job. I said Kiffin at Florida. Still feel that way. I still think John Summerall is going to be the LSU coach. I still feel that way. I told you Kenny Dillingham to Auburn. Have you seen where that thing's gotten some run now?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that thing apparently.
Is that where they think it's going to
apparently
end up?
that the Auburn media seems to think that's who it's going to. Remember, he coached at Auburn. He before he was at FSU in Oregon, he coached at Auburn. So I think
that'd be a great hire for Auburn.
Be a great hire for Auburn. He's a guy that would be, again, if I'm Florida State, I'm probably firing Norvell. I'm finding that $58 million somewhere, and that's who I'm hiring.
They're going to miss. I mean, that's the thing too. If you're Florida State, don't you have to? I mean, don't you worry a little bit about? I think it's been a deeper pool than people give it credit for.
I do too.
And
I do too.
And I understand maybe the argument of, well, but if they wait, then next year at the end of 26, they may have by far and away the best job, and maybe they will, but you just don't know what's a lot can happen in a year. So, I mean, what if USC opens or Ohio State opens because Day elects to go to the NFL? Or, I mean, it just, to me, if I was FSU, I don't think Mike Norvell's the answer. I think he's lost the program, and I don't think he can fix it. But, but I would be worried about missing out on a guy like that because I don't think Dillingham probably would leave Arizona State for Florida State. But would he leave Auburn after 1 year for Florida State? That would surprise me.
Yeah, and I will tell you, I think that's where the conversation is right now is of all these guys that are really good and might be good and might be great, might not be, Dillingham might be the one guy that he might be a star in the waiting now. I mean, he's the one guy that he's offensive minded. He's chippy. He's not afraid to say what he thinks, like Kiffin and Spurrier and the like. He might be the one guy, and if you're FSU, I said this, I did my take on this the other day. You almost have to make a change and go get somebody you're excited about now, for fear that the rest of the state is so excited about their guys. You know that right now. By the way,
how are you going to sell season tickets next year if Mike Norvell is the coach? Because even if he wins out, I don't think he's getting the fan base back.
I agree with that. There's not enough games to win. The best way he could help do that is beat Florida, because that's still beating the rival. But I don't disagree with you. But I still think. But again, if you're FSU, if you do fire him, and you immediately go hire Kenny Dillingham, who's highly regarded.
Oh yeah,
that would move. Then
you're having the conversation with your buddies of, I think my guy's better than your guy.
That's exactly right. That's exactly. He's about the only guy you could hire, assuming Florida gets Kiffin. Dillingham's about the only guy you could hire where you feel like if you're an FSU guy, you could reasonably make that argument. Now again, we may be right. I can remember I did a show not long ago, a few years back. Someone said. It was 4 years ago, because it was when Napier and Cristobal both got hired, and FSU was lousy, and we said who's got the best coach in the state of Florida? Some people said Napier, the Gator fans, and the Miami fans said Cristobal, and I said, it might be Mike Norvell. Oh, I got killed on Twitter. I can't believe you're just sucking up to the FSU fans. And I said, well, 2 years later, it looked like it was him. When he's going 13-0, and the other two aren't doing very well.
He's rumored to go to Alabama.
Yeah, he won 19 straight games. Yeah. How, I still have no idea.
But it looked like
Jordan Travis.
Travis. Yeah, but it looked like he might be the best one. Well, now, here's the great irony. Cristobal's pretty soon going to be the only one standing of those three, So it will be. And by the way,
what kind of extension will Miami give Cristobal?
JJ, what is the
There's
story?
a lot left in the season, man.
Where is he? And contractually, where is he?
I'm not sure. I'd have to look that up, but I know that he hasn't gotten like a humongous extension recently.
Yeah, it's interesting.
So he's playing for a lot of money over this last few weeks.
I would think if I'm Miami, JJ, we talked about this the other day with you. I'd feel pretty good about my guy. Now
I do, because even yesterday we're getting 4-star. We've gotten a kid who left LSU. We got a kid who left Penn State. Like, the on-the-field product isn't always great. We all know he's terrible when it comes to time management and stuff like that. But, man, he recruits his ass off. And you can't be mad about how stacked this roster is.
Yeah, and after you've gone through some coaches.
And he builds it right. He builds it in the trenches.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does.
And he wins the big ones.
Yeah.
Whenever we play our rivals, they're always up for it, and they seem to win all the big games.
Here's the other thing interesting. Florida State, and Miami, I can tell you this. They're all going to have another quarterback next year. I have no idea. No idea, by the way. I have no idea who the next quarterback was. See, back in the day, I could tell you, well, guess what? Danny McManus is gone, but Chip Ferguson's going to be the quarterback. You could always tell you that Shane Matthews is gone, but Danny Werfel's in the wings, or Terry Dean's in the wings.
You could even sometimes go 2 or 3
you
down
could.
the road.
You really could.
And then in 2 years, it'll be this guy.
Well, in fact, at FSU, you could. It was Charlie Ward. You knew Cannell was behind him. You knew Thad Busby was after that. Remember that?
Yeah.
Now, I have no idea.
That's how it played out.
Right. Well, here's the problem. You know where the Miami, Florida, and Florida State quarterbacks are right now? They're
Somewhere
in Indiana,
else.
Kansas, and California. That's where they are. You know, so I mean, what a bizarre world we're in if you think about it like that.
It's amazing, and again, that's why it's interesting with Florida and Tramel Jones. So we were talking about this at the Jaguars. I was talking to Mark Long and D-Rock about it, and O'Halloran. Like, if you're Billy against, let's say like DJ Lagway Saturday against Ole Miss throws 3 picks in the first half. Well, do you just let it ride? Because if you go to Jones then plays a third game. You've got 2 left.
Yeah.
If you then wanted to then start Jones at home, not wanting to put Lagway back in front of the Florida fans.
Oh, that's a good point.
Now you've burned his red shirt. So if you're Billy Gonzalez, you do kind of have to have a conversation this week about no matter how bad it is, do you let Lagway just go the distance in Oxford? Do you play Harrison Bailey, who's like 29 years old, who they brought in to play?
And he must not be very good.
And he must not be very good. But at that point, if Lagway's thrown 3 picks and you're down 3, let's say 3 or 4 touchdowns.
That's a good point.
How do you play that?
Yeah, it's almost not fair to Trammell at this point to play him. Because I never thought of it. The last 2 games are at home.
Right. And you might want to start him in those 2 games.
Yeah. And certainly give him a chance to play at home. A really good point. I haven't thought about that. We'll see what happens. Let's take a break. We'll ask Shane Matthews some questions like that. The State Farm College Football Report is next. Stay with us.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Make Monday an extension of the weekend by talking football all day.
Oh, you're good.
We'll take apart the top games, key plays, and controversial calls from the weekend. Post-game Monday, served by Dandy Foods on 1010XL.
This is Richard Miller with your Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles Update. New into Showtime, Travis Hunter bobbleheads are now on shelves, with Travis Hunter posing on the NFL Draft Day stage. It's a great gift for every Jags fan in your life. At Showtime, Sports Cards and Collectibles, update your collection.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. If you're dreaming of putting in a pool this year, choosing the right company is the most important decision you'll make. I've trusted Stanley Pools to build my pool, renovate my pool, and maintain my pool. Stanley Pools has been the best in the business since 1988, and they're still family-owned. Call them today at 904-269-7277 or find them online at StanleyPoolsFL.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
Join me, Max Fink, as I keep a close eye on everything that happens in Gator Nation.
The Gator Report, polished up by San Jose Collision on the home of the Florida Gators, 1010XL.
Go, Gators!
Big Chief Tire makes auto care more affordable with 6-month financing through the CFNA credit card. Frank Frangie here. Plus, get $50 off your first purchase when you sign up. Whether you need new tires, brake service, or general repairs, their expert technicians have you covered. With no interest for 6 months, now's the perfect time to take care of your vehicle. Visit WeKeepJacksRollin.com or call 904-932-0950 to apply today. Big Chief Tire keeps Jacks rolling.
Hey, this is Lauren Brooks. I love Hello Smooth Med Spa, my go-to for skin health and beauty. Their biggest event of the year is November 19th, National Botox Day. Huge deals, local vendors, and it benefits Make-A-Wish. Don't miss it. Visit HelloSmooth.com for more details.
This is Hayes Carlion for Harold and Harold. I was at lunch with my good friend Holt, and he was telling me that sometimes a lawyer can get more from a case than their own client. I was surprised to hear this, but Holt said that doesn't happen with Harold and Harold. They'll never take a fee that is greater than their own client. When they say they treat their clients as a person and not a file, they mean it. Hopefully you won't need them, but if you're ever injured, call Harold and Harold at 904-251-1111. That's 904-251-1111.
Hey Jacksonville, it's Dr. Kevin Kaplan, team physician for the Jaguars and proud member of Jacksonville's newest orthopedic dream team. At Orthopedic Specialists of Jacksonville, we brought together 10 board-certified, fellowship-trained surgeons, each one a specialist in their field, all working together to deliver smarter, faster care with better results. From sports injuries to joint replacements, we've got the right player for every position. Visit osjax.com and meet your team. That's osjax.com.
Now, the Performance Painting High Performance Play of the Game. Performance Painting. Prepare, protect, preserve.
You always need clutch plays when in Clutch City, and Parker Washington made sure to live up to that billing. In the second quarter, the Jacksonville returner would bring back the Houston punt 73 yards for a touchdown, giving the squad a 17-0 lead with 11:40 left in the quarter. The Washington score is your Performance Painting Play of the Game.
Hi folks, Jason Parker here with Performance Painting. Ever wonder what to do with leftover paint that you don't want? Here's a few options. Paint can be placed in the regular trash if it's dry. Simply stir in kitty litter to a thick consistency. Then wait a few days with the lid off till it dries. Also, if the paint is good, there's many charities or churches that would love to have it. If you'd like more tips or have a project, we'd love to help. Go to performance-painting.com. Performance Painting. Repair, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting.
How do you know that your roof is ready for the next big storm? You don't. That's why you need to call me. I'm Ronnie, the owner of Brandon Roofing. We'll assess your roof and fix those issues before they become storm disasters. Visit BrandonRoofing.com today to schedule your free roofing quote.
License number CCC 1328006.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
Time now for the State Farm College Football Report with Shane Matthews on the Gators, Tom Block on the Noles, and Joe Zagacki on the Canes. Presented by your local State Farm agent.
All right, let's get right to it. Let's start with the Gators. The report is brought to you by State Farm agents Mike Nickus, Ron McCann, Mike Tozzle, Kathy Scott, and Jason Judy. My buddy Shane Matthews is from the Gator Radio Network, joins us. Oh, boy, Shane, that was a tough one in Lexington on Saturday night. Gators just ran out of gas. What's your take on why it got so bad?
I had a bad feeling going into that game, Frank. We just have not played well in Lexington the last few times we've gone there and didn't know what to expect. And, just turnovers after turnover. And, it was just one of those games where it was one of the ugliest games I've ever seen the Gators play.
Shane, what do you think Billy Gonzalez should do with DJ Lagway if his struggles continue in Oxford?
Well, he's going to have to make a change, just like he did at Kentucky. I thought Trammell did a few good things in there. I think he hasn't played since live action since Long Island, and he didn't play a whole lot his senior year in high school. So when the bullets start flying, he's right around 6 foot as well. I think the rush got to him a little bit, and he bailed out of the pocket at times. But I think the more reps he gets, the better he'll become. But he showed a lot of composure, made a couple of good throws. But I think DJ is all set to be the starter in this game.
Boy, Shane, it's a weird feeling. You go to Ole Miss. Everybody knows that Lane Kiffin is every Gator's choice to be the next coach. I think he's going to be the next coach. I think that's why he's certainly not refuting it. But to talk about first of all, how weird this is for Gator Nation. Secondly, how weird is it for you? I mean, for people that don't know, Shane grew up a Mississippi fan. His dad played there. His mom cheered there. And then you went to Florida. I mean, this is kind of weird for you on Saturday night, right?
It really is, Frank. I haven't been back to a game there since I think my junior year in high school. And I mean, we went when I was a kid all the way up till my senior year in high school, and then I started going to different games. But it's going to be unique. Now, I've been to a Morgan Wallen concert there in the stadium, but I haven't been to a football game. So, yeah, it's going to be weird. I'm actually going to but some buddies of mine are going to pick me up once the team lands in Memphis. I'm going to go have a little fun downtown Oxford Friday night. But it's going to be bizarre. I'm going to go to the Grove. I hadn't been there since I was a kid. So I'm kind of excited. But it's going to be a circus. It is going to be a true circus there with the whole Lane Kiffin thing. I'm with you, Frank. I do believe Lane Kiffin will be our next coach.
Do you give Florida any chance of ruining Ole Miss's playoff bid?
Well, I didn't think we'd beat them last year, quite honestly. If you go back and you look at the game statistically or whatever, they dominated the game, but they turned it over a couple of times. Jackson Dart did, and they were 1 for 5 on fourth downs, things of that nature. But yeah, anything can happen. I mean, we got some talent. We hit some plays. If the game is close, does Ole Miss tighten up because they haven't had a whole lot of close games? But it should be a tremendous atmosphere there in Oxford.
All right, I'm going to make one prediction, Shane. I don't make a lot of them here, but I'm going to make one prediction here. As you know, before I did Jags games, I did a lot of years of college games with Toretta, and I did 3 Ole Miss games in that stretch. My prediction is you're going to have a big time in that square on Friday night. Can I predict that? That's my prediction. Okay?
There's no question. I'm all in on that Friday night for sure.
Shane, have fun. Thanks, buddy. We appreciate it.
All right, guys. Take care.
All right, Shane Matthews from the Gator Radio Network. Let's head to Tallahassee now. The report brought to you by Craig Dewhurst, Ramy Alamu, Margie Williams, Scott Hobson, Brandon Thomas, and Randy Taylor, all State Farm agents. Tom Block checks in from the Seminole Radio Network. Tom, it was a tough one on Saturdays. Clemson struggling, FSU struggling. I feel like I'm asking the same questions every week other than after Wake Forest. But from an emotional standpoint, Mike Norvell got very emotional in the presser afterwards. Where is this team emotionally, in your opinion?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the question. I do think they're going to play well this week because they've played pretty well at home. I guess you could argue Pitt maybe is the lone exception, but, they laid an egg at Stanford, came back after the bye week, played really well against Wake. I would expect the same this week. It doesn't answer the question as to why that kind of performance on the road. And the up and down has gotten all of us, so it's definitely hard to predict. You're asking the same questions, and I'm giving the same answers, which are not very definitive because I simply don't know.
Virginia Tech comes in with a 3-6 record and obviously an interim coach. What, if anything, do the Hokies present that could be a challenge for the Noles, in your opinion?
Yeah, well, a mobile quarterback for sure. I mean, I remember when Drones was in here when he was just starting earlier in his career, and that was a challenge for Florida State then. And, they've had issues with mobile quarterbacks, so I would expect the same against that. If I'm Florida State's defense, that would be the biggest thing I'm worried about. Offensively, they just need to be more consistent down to down and drive to drive. I've been saying that all year, but it really has been boom or bust. They go 3 and outs, and then they hit a 70-yard play, but they can't fall behind as they've done the last couple of losses.
Tell them what about the Mike Norvell situation? Do you have an opinion on that? Is he going to be there next year? Is he not? I know Mike Alford said he's going to address it all at the end of the season, but I just asked Shane that. I'll ask you the same thing. Do you have a gut on that?
My gut would be probably not, but I do think they're trying to be fair and evaluate how the season finishes. And so obviously if you play like you did against Clemson for 3 more weeks, that makes it an easier decision. If you play like you did against Wake the next 3 weeks, that makes it a tougher decision. It means he's probably back if they're bowl eligible or get to 7 wins. The gray area is really the in-between, like if you continue this up and down. I don't know how he gets it turned back around. I hope that he does. And as an alum, I'm not necessarily in favor of finding $75 million, to solve the issue. Because that's not a great circumstance either, and you're not guaranteed that it's going to get better just because you change coaches. So I honestly don't know where it lands. I do know it's just caused a lot of angst for Florida State folks in general. Everybody, if you follow Florida State, you want to see them win. You don't want to see this.
How do you think the offensive line is playing?
I don't think the offensive line has been, if you were going to list the issues, I don't think they've been one of them this year. They got a good center. They've played pretty well. So deficiencies or struggles offensively, I really don't think they've been offensive line related.
We'll see what happens. Virginia Tech comes calling. Tallahassee against Florida State. Tom, thanks, buddy. We appreciate it.
All right, have a good one, guys.
All right, let's head down to Coral Gables where Joe Zagacki checks in. Joe Zagacki is the terrific play-by-play voice of the Miami Hurricanes. His report is brought to you by Carissa McCullough and Gene Coleman. Hey, Joe, a little different from our other 2 reports. Your coach is coming back next year, right? You're good with that, right?
Well, you never know in this world of college football, Frank. Miami's got three games to go, and the reason they hired him was to win these 3 games. So I think the microscope will be on Miami and what they've achieved the last couple of years. But they have 3 important games coming up, and this is their every game's a playoff game. I think if they win the final 3, I think they will make the playoffs. So Mario's got to get it done.
How do you feel? Kind of from 10,000 feet. How do you feel they're playing? I mean, I think they're playing pretty well. People like to scrutinize teams like Miami. Obviously, they lost 2 games in a row, but one was that SMU game was weird. It looked like they kind of refound themselves against Syracuse last week. How do you feel like they're overall? How have they played compared to what you expected?
I think they're a very solid team. I think there's been a bit of a negative overanalysis on Carson Beck in some instances. I was not pleased with the way they played against Louisville. I thought they were flat in that game and tried to scramble to get back into it. I thought the SMU game, there was a lot of questions in that SMU game that somebody's going to have to answer for at some point. I thought they played better last week. I think they've done a good job of being patient offensively. The team's adjusting to them, and so I think they've been solid. I think they've been good, but there's plenty of room for them to go from good to great, and they're going to have to do that in the next 3 weeks.
NC State 5-4, but they've had some good moments this year. What challenges will NC State pose to the Hurricanes, in your opinion?
Well, the big play. C.J. Bailey, the quarterback from Chaminade Madonna High School. By the way, same place I went to high school, except we didn't have C.J. Bailey for quarterback when I was there. He only lost 1 game in high school. He lost 1 game to Bishop Gorman. He's got 4 300-yard games this season, 6 in his career. I thought Miami should have recruited him. Apparently they did not. Hopefully that doesn't come back to bite him in the you-know-what. But he's a really good quarterback that distributes the ball. takes care of the ball, has not turned the ball over in his career in the red zone, and got a bevy of wide receivers. Hollywood Smothers, one of the leading rushers in the conference, been a little bit banged up, but then they put this kid in, Duke Scott, who went for 196 against Georgia Tech. And then on defense, the challenge there is I don't think they're the fastest defense Miami's going to play, but I think they're the defense that plays the hardest and the smartest.
I tell you what, it's a very important game because even though it's on the road next week, Miami's going to beat Virginia Tech, which sets up a terrific season ender against a damn good Pitt team, I think. So what a season for Miami, and I agree with you. Final thought as I'll let you go here. What do you think about how Beck's played? The good and the bad of Carson Beck. I mean, no one's seen more good quarterbacks over their careers than you have. How do you feel he's played?
I think he's been good. I think there, again, is room for him to be great. I think some of the interceptions, like with every quarterback, some is on him and some are not on him. But I feel like his confidence was dented in that Louisville game, or maybe the Florida game, somewhere in there. I don't think he had the same aggressiveness that I saw in practice and in the early games. Now, last week against Syracuse, maybe it came back to him because he had a beautiful pass. He let it rip on a 61-yarder to Keelan Marion. All that being said, the guy's got 15 passes of 30 yards or more. He's still throwing for over 2,100 yards, 15 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, probably more like 15 and 5. He could use some help from his running backs, but overall, I think he's been good, solid, but he could be elite, and that's where we got to get to.
Joe Zagacki, the play-by-play voice of the Miami Hurricanes. Thank you, Joe.
Okay, fellas, thank you.
All right, that is the State Farm College Football Report. Joe Zagacki talking Canes. Before that, Tom Block talked to the Noles about the Noles, and Shane Matthews checked in on the Gators. We'll take a break. When we come back, our friend Kevin Kaplan's here. Our medical report is next. Stay with us.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
It's a coast-to-coast connection as the Lightning Bolts travel 2,400 miles from Southern California to North Florida, Santa Monica Pier to Jack's Beach. L.A. has Lightning Bolts, but Jacksonville has Jungle Thunder. Jaguars, Chargers. Sunday at 1 on the home of the Jaguars. 1010 XL.
Frank Frangie here. Nimnick Buick GMC is proud to be the #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville, earned by treating customers with courtesy, respect, and fairness. All part of Nimnick's Treating You Right guarantee. The most Buicks, GMCs, and Jacksonville's only Car Bravo dealer, nobody but Nimnick. For 3 generations, Nimnick has been the place customers keep coming back to. They treat you right, and they give a bunch back to the community. Visit NimnickBuickGMC.com today to learn more, or visit their showroom off Phillips Highway. GMC, we are professional grade.
It's time for the Plumbing 411 from Superior Plumbing and Pipeline. It's not just annoying when your toilet keeps running long after you flush, it's also costly because it could waste hundreds of gallons of water a day. A running toilet's often caused by worn-out flappers, corroded valves, or a faulty float. Superior Plumbing and Pipelining will fix the problem fast, which can help lower your water bill. Stop the running and start saving today. Make the superior choice when your toilet won't stop running, and learn more at superiorplumbingjacks.com.
This holiday season, let Bono's Catering do the cooking so you can enjoy more time with family and friends. Frank Frangie here. Bono's has been serving Jacksonville's best barbecue for 75 years. Holiday catering's available with full smoked turkeys, country hams, and all the fixings. Be sure to order online at bonosbarbecue.com or call 904-332-7427. Plus, you could give the gift of Bono's Barbecue. Buy a $25 gift card and get an additional $5 gift card in-store or online. Remember, if you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
Expert Automotive on St. John's Bluff Road has some of the highest Google reviews in Jax for a reason. Expert Auto never sells greed, only what you need. All makes and models are serviced at Expert Automotive. This month, get an alignment inspection for only $19.99. Expert Auto does major engine and transmission repair and simple maintenance. All services done at Expert Auto by our ASC certified training technicians. Call today, 374-3373, and ask about $50 off any service. Expert Automotive. We never sell greed, only what you need.
Former Jags middle linebacker Tom McManus brings some grit to the ladies of helmets and heels.
You do it as tough as it is possible to do.
Tommy, Lauren, and Taylor.
Backed by Green Law Group. Afternoons 2 to 4 on 1010 XL.
For lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, call 722-1111 for
Instant Keys. Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
Lauren Brooks
Brooks here for Terminix. When mice and rats show up in your home or business, they can be a real pain. You need them out fast, before they have time to multiply. Terminix knows how to shut down rodents and will keep them from coming back to wreak more havoc. When rodents show up, so does Terminix. Don't live with a rodent problem, Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online just like I did. That's TERMINIX.com. TERMINIX.com.
I'm Frank Frangie, and I've been telling you how proud I am of my daughter Amber, who's lost so much weight on Awaken 180. But it's been a while now, so I wonder if it's something she can maintain. So I sort of asked her, how's it going?
So far, so good, Dad. But you're right, it has been a while. But that's the beauty of the Awaken 180 plan. There's so much variety in the food choices. You don't get bored.
You look great. Do you feel better?
I feel so much better. And I know it's because of the weight loss and how it's changed my lifestyle. So there's no chance I won't sustain it.
Well, what about over the holidays? Look, you grew up in our home, and you know we love the holidays.
Oh, I still plan on enjoying the holidays. I just plan on doing it by eating right. And I've already had the conversation with my coach. She understands the challenges of the holidays, and she's guided so many folks just like me through this. We've already made a plan.
So take my kid's word for it. Awaken 180 works. It's sustainable, even over the holidays. So change your life by calling 844-346-1800 or visit awaken180weightloss.com.
It's ET here, and did you know that slow speed accidents can still cause serious injuries? Ignoring minor pain today can mean big problems tomorrow. Don't wait. Call my guys at McGowan Spinal Rehabilitation Center, the auto accident experts.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Now, the cool down from the cool guys at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Fast, reliable, and honest service since '87.
All right, where we've been in the program today, we have had some fun stuff to talk about. We talked Jaguar football and how big this game is. We heard from Devin Lloyd as Hayes caught up with him in the locker room. We certainly talked about that today. We talked about the Gator Seminole basketball game, which was an awful lot of fun. Terrific game down the stretch. And Florida coaching search moving forward. And Brett Hastings was here for Sports and Courts talking about the case with Brian Kelly and whether or not he is going to win his lawsuit. So we'll see if that happens. That time now for this.
Now time for the medical update with Jaguars team physician Kevin Kaplan, presented by Orthopedic Specialists of Jacksonville.
My buddy Kevin Kaplan is here, and he has started Orthopedic Specialists of Jacksonville. If you have orthopedic needs, that is the place to go. How are you?
I'm good, guys. You know, it's another week. It's been been an interesting couple of weeks.
Yeah, it has. And according to all the news reports, you were in Dallas.
Correct.
Right, with obviously Travis on. Hey, listen, private stuff is private stuff.
Sure.
We've agreed not to say that. But give us big pictures. And number one, is Travis okay?
Yeah, Travis is good. You know, so I think things are, it's a tough thing, and you look around the league. We've talked about this all year long. You know, look at the number of injuries and all the different teams, and this is an unfortunate part of the game. And you kind of, for me as a physician for the team, you kind of separate yourself. Obviously, being from Jacksonville, we want to win every game, but when it comes down to the players and the players' health, that's number one. That's why they hired me, and so that's extremely important. So, my goal is to make sure that he's healthy and gets back and doing what he loves to do.
Kevin, the report was it's an LCL injury. Hayes and I were talking about it. I haven't heard much about that. What is that, and where is it in the knee, the whole bit?
Right. So we talk about the ligaments. Ligaments connect bones to bones, and everybody knows the ACL. A lot of people know the MCL. Things that we don't talk about a lot about are the PCL, which is and the CL is cruciate ligament or collateral ligament. Yeah. And so the LCL stands for lateral collateral ligament. And so it's just another stabilizer of the knee. And all these ligaments, and when you see these guys run and cut and pivot and plant and move so fast, their knees have to be stable. And all these ligaments, whatever ligament it is, it's all about stability in the knee. And so, but yes, you're right. We don't talk about that one as much, but it's a ligament just like the other ligaments in the knee.
What goes into the decision to have it in Dallas and the logistics of getting out there to do it and all that stuff?
Yeah, a lot of it has to do, with agents and meeting with docs and people that I'm collegial with. And so that's part of this process too. We get guys that come in here all the time very similarly. Last year I think I operated on Steelers player, a Saints player, and maybe last year was a Titans player. I can't remember. You know, the players go in and out, and we work together. You know, that's the beautiful part about the NFL. As you get guys like Dan Cooper, who is a very close friend of mine, who's been doing this for 30 years, and Dr. Elitrosh out in L.A., who trained me, who's been doing, again, orthopedics twice as long as me, and getting these guys and meeting with them and knowing them, and in the combines we sit down and go over cases and how we do surgeries. It's a great environment because these guys are, you know, at the highest level of performance. It's not like if I tore my ACL that my job would change, right? I'd still be able to go to work. I'd still be able to do my job. And if I needed to ski, I'd go fix my ACL at some point, but my career doesn't depend on it. And that's the biggest difference between, you know, Hayes, your ACL and my ACL and Travis Hunter's. You know, there's no difference in the anatomy. It's just the person and the player and what they're doing for a living.
Final question about him. Get to some other stuff. You're a Jaguar fan, like we all are.
That's right.
We all have jobs. You and I have jobs with the Jaguars. Hayes has jobs covering the Jaguars. We're all fans.
Oh, no doubt.
When you heard that there's something might be wrong with Travis, don't be a doctor for a second. Be a Jaguar fan. Did you have the feeling in your gut that the rest of us did? That like.
Yeah, I harken back to the call I got in 2015, maybe it was whenever we drafted Dante Fowler.
Okay.
And I remember getting that same call.
Right, the first day of the players. That's right.
Right. And having the same feeling, you know, kind of like, I hope it's nothing major, you know. But I immediately go into like, okay, what do I need to do?
Yeah.
I need to get an exam. I need to get an MRI. I need to figure out what's going on. So. You know, certainly there's that initial thought of, oh, man, I hope this isn't bad. But, you know, then it's immediately into let's solve this problem because that's what we do for a living. But, yeah, I mean, look, my senior year was the first year the Jags started. I would say, hey, we've been, and same with you, Frank, we've been around. And, you know, we live and breathe and want the Jaguars to do well. So
I guess it's a little different for you because we can just like, oh, you have work to do. You got to get to work. Another we can do is whine about it. Okay, you don't have time to whine about it. You got to go to work.
Right. In the same way when in Houston, you know, when the game's over, I don't have time to sit. You know, as much as that was rough.
Right.
You know, I'm in the locker room and immediately dealing with who's injured, what we need to do, the scans we need to get, writing my notes, and so there's a lot that goes on before I can sit down on the plane and kind of decompress. You know.
And the timeline that the club announced sets up well. I mean, 6 months, he really has an additional couple of months because really, I mean, as long as he's good by like late July for the start of training camp, they don't really do that much in OTAs and the mandatory minicamp anyway. So for a guy that's already played half a season, it's nice to have a couple extra months there for him to be 100% before camp begins.
Right, that's what we want. I mean, he's a special guy, special player, and again, we do right for the player, the individual player, his health. You know, being able to play in the league for a long period of time, hopefully with the Jaguars for that long period of time, and so you got to kind of put your blinders on and shoot for the long and saying what's the best thing for Travis Hunter in terms of his health, and then everything else will kind of fall into place.
A big picture. It seems like we're getting healthy. And finally, Brenton Strange hopefully can play, and he's certainly the 21-day window is open. Devin Lloyd's back on the field. Man, we had a lot of. Does it feel that way to you that finally we're turning the corner a little bit there?
I think so. We were so fortunate at the beginning, and then all of a sudden we had a lot of little things, right? You know, this was the big one, but the way I look at it, we still have a long way to play, and so if we can get all these guys back on the field healthy, then yeah, I think we're turning that corner to get right, and hopefully that helps us win football games.
Jacoby Myers looked good in his first game. What's that like from your perspective when he shows up and, you know, you're just to getting to know him and anything that he needs?
So it was great bringing him in the morning. I'd actually, again, just through leagues and second opinions, things like that, I had already had an interaction with him in the past. And so, you know, bringing him in, we do that physical exam just to make sure everything's right and then get him over to the stadium. It's great to have a player like that around, and hopefully he'll be a big boost to our offense, you know.
The injuries around the league. Jackson Dart is in the concussion protocol. Take us again through it. I know you got to come back. There's stages, and De'Ami Brown just went through it. For people that weren't listening and haven't listened to past, 3 stages, right? Tell me that story again.
You're right. So after a concussion, if it's diagnosed as a concussion, then they take their tests and what symptoms they have, and that's the day of the game. So that was Sunday. So he came into the Giants facility on Monday and took that same test in terms of what his symptoms were. That symptom checklist has to be almost back to normal before then he can advance to the next stage, and which you'll go to a light exercise, and then you'll go to heavy exercise,
That's right.
non-contact practice, and then a contact practice. And then once that's done, then he has to meet with our internal medicine doc or their internal medicine doc and their independent consultant, both of whom have to say the concussion is cleared and he's back to baseline. So there's a systems of checks and balances between the team and then an independent consultant. And if that independent consultant says he's not ready, he's not playing. So it's an interesting, it's just all safety.
But he conceivably can play right away. I mean, or a week later if he passes everything.
Well, that's right. If you pass everything and meet every stage along the way during that first week, it's possible to play. Now, if his symptoms linger to Wednesday, Thursday, you just don't have time to meet all those checks and to be able to play on Sunday.
Is there any medical theory behind, let's take Jackson Dart and the Giants, their season's over. They just fired their coach and they're not going anywhere. Makes sense to put him on IR just to distance the chance of him suffering a second, even if he's cleared, suffering a second concussion in a short frame of time, or the medical science doesn't suggest that matters?
Well, in theory, the way the protocol works, they should be back to baseline, and their risk of a second concussion should be back to normal. Right. If you rushed it and he wasn't checking off that he had a headache or this and that, the other, then his brain, maybe it's not ready to go back. That would be a concern. So I see your point, but in theory, if the concussion protocol has been followed appropriately, which I'm sure they're doing, those guys, then that risk should be minimized. And the way they look at that in terms of his being on the field and getting the experience, who knows? But he should be back to baseline.
Final question. The Jags play the Arizona Cardinals in a week, in 2 weeks. Marvin Harrison is out now with an appendectomy, but all they're saying is it's this week. I mean, how quickly didn't we have somebody? Did we have an appendectomy?
We didn't have an appendectomy. We played someone that had an appendectomy.
Yeah, maybe
it was beginning of this year, wasn't it?
Was it?
I thought so.
But anyway, he's had it
when
now.
did he get? When was the
He
appendectomy?
just had it.
I think just had it.
Yeah, so how do you come back from that?
It's going to be
it was the Panthers left tackle.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. But it was the week of, right?
Yeah, right. That's right.
Yeah,
that's what it was. Yeah. So what happens?
It's a quick turnaround. If they did it. Again, we don't know how they did it. So if they did it laparoscopically through 2 tiny incisions, and the general surgeons took the appendix out, then he's got his stomach, his diet, his ability to train, all those things go into play. He's got stitches in there. So I think if it just happened today, we play them next Sunday.
Yeah.
He'd be highly questionable.
Yeah,
I'm just thinking if it happened to us, that would
I'm
be.
just saying, I'm a little softer than an NFL player. I'm not playing an NFL game. I'll play next February if right? I mean, it's amazing. But they're saying they're only announcing out 1 week.
They probably will list him as questionable, and they'll probably take him through depending on how he feels, because he's not going to be eating. His bowel's not going to be working normally at the beginning. So It would shock me, but it's not out of the realm of possibility.
Marvin Harrison, they said all they've announced is he's out for Sunday, so we'll wind up seeing. Kevin Kaplan is our legal our medical expert.
I wish I was a legal expert.
We had no. You
my guy Hastings. That's my guy.
You make way more money than him. He'll tell you that. So Kevin Kaplan is our medical expert. Thanks for coming by. We appreciate it. Orthopedic Specialist of Jacksonville. That is the name to know now if you have orthopedic needs. Back in a moment. Stay with us.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
This is Brent Musburger's Visa in Action update on 1010XL. Brought to you by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. When you're stuck, call the Duck. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
NBA, the Oklahoma City Thunder picking up where they left off. They're the betting favorite to win the NBA title for the second straight year. The Thunder are plus 190, while the Cleveland Cavaliers, who won the Eastern Conference regular season title, are plus 650 to hoist the Larry O'Brien Trophy. The Denver Nuggets at plus 650 to win the title. The Knicks are plus 1,000. The Houston Rockets plus 1,300, and Golden State plus 1,500. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander of the Thunder is plus 240 to win the regular season MVP award. Lakers' Luka Doncic plus 300, Nuggets Nikola Jokic plus 400, and Milwaukee's Giannis Antetokounmpo is plus 550.
Progressive helping veterans drive their lives forward. More info, keysofprogress.com.
I'm Tony Desiri with your VSiN Action Update on 1010 XL.
Hey, it's Frank Frangie. Business owners, listen up. If your plumbing or AC company keeps giving you the runaround, it's time to cut them loose. Call my friends at Duck Duck Rooter. They already partner with some of the biggest commercial operations in Northeast Florida, like the Jaguars and station operations. Their office team makes invoicing a breeze, and their field techs, top-notch pros. Make the switch today. Duck Duck Rooter, a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Call 904-862-6769. 904-862-6769. Tell them Frank sent you.
This is Hayes Carline from my friend Holt at Harrell & Harrell. There doesn't seem to be enough time in the day to get everything done. Then you get injured in an accident and you don't know what you're going to do. Let Harrell & Harrell make it easy for you. Easy on becoming a client. You can just text or email if you want. Easy on finding a doctor and getting through the process. Hopefully you won't need them, but if you're ever injured, call Harrell & Harrell and make it easy on yourself. Call them at 904-251-1111. That's 251-1111.
Jeff Lagerman for Napa Auto Care Centers. This football season, make sure your ride can get to that tailgate or travel to the away game safely and dependably. You can trust the ASE certified professionals at any one of the 29 independently owned Napa Auto Care Centers and the quality Napa parts they use. Napa Auto Care Centers can handle everything: oil changes, air conditioning, brakes, engines, transmissions. Napa Auto Care Centers offers a nationwide 24-month, 24,000-mile peace of mind warranty on most repairs. Find one near you at jacksnapaautocare.com.
I'm Frank Frangie, and I just got back from the farm at Okefenokee. Man, it's incredible. Just an hour north of Jacksonville and Folkestone. I was so impressed. It's about connecting with nature, with food, with community. And now you can own your very own handcrafted cabin tucked into a 1,000-acre regenerative farm. Everything you need is there. You'll hardly need to go grocery shopping. Learn more about all of it at okefarm.com. That's OKEfarm.com, the farm at Okefenokee.
If you're ready to transform your yard with a fence that stands out, elevate your curb appeal with Superior Fence and Rail. Superior takes pride in offering first-class service, friendly installers, and unmatched fence products. Mention this ad and get $250 off your next project. It's time to get off the fence and call today.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
At the First Coast YMCA, you'll find much more than just a gym. We offer many ways to help you become more active, reach your weight loss goals, and find your inner strength. Membership at the Y includes state-of-the-art facilities, a huge variety of fitness classes, and programs for all ages. It's easy to join the Y since it's affordable for all incomes. The Y is a great place to make connections and experience something new. Visit the YMCA near you or online at fcymca.org.
Now, the Performance Painting High Performance Play of the Game. Performance Painting. Prepare, protect, preserve.
You always need clutch plays when in Clutch City, and Parker Washington made sure to live up to that billing. In the second quarter, the Jacksonville returner would bring back the Houston punt 73 yards for a touchdown, giving the squad a 17-0 lead with 11:40 left in the quarter. The Washington score is your Performance Painting Play of the Game.
Hi folks, Jason Parker here with Performance Painting. Ever wonder what to do with leftover paint that you don't want? Here's a few options. Paint can be placed in the regular trash if it's dry. Simply stir in kitty litter to a thick consistency. Then wait a few days with the lid off till it dries. Also, if the paint is good, there's many charities or churches that would love to have it. If you'd like more tips or have a project, we'd love to help. Go to performance-painting.com. Performance Painting. Repair, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
Back to a Coyle & Sons Wednesday. Since 1927, they've been around the block and probably fenced it too.
We sure appreciate our friends from Coyle & Sons. One more time, 904-356-4821. If you're building a fence, if you need a fence in your yard, in your business, wherever, you need to know that number, 904-356-4821. CoyleJacks.com. They're really good folks. They're doing more work for us to the Brigham Baseball Complex. That comes up in just a bit. And we certainly appreciate our friends from Coyle & Sons Fence Company. I will tell you, talking to Cap, you and I talk off air, on air. I still think I'm so excited about Sunday because I think you win that game everybody 10 games in is still excited. And, there's been a lot of seasons where a news bulletin, we're not all that excited 10 games in. And I think you're in a great place. It'd be better if you're 7-3 and won last week. I get it. And it held on. But I still think they're in a great place to win the game.
I honestly, I get the devastation of Sunday, but it's now Wednesday. And, I mean, you got to move on. I mean, you got to beat the Chargers. I mean, again, when you saw the schedule, when you first saw it in May, what popped to you? Chargers in Jacksonville, first home game in 5 weeks. I hope it's a meaningful game. It is a enormous game. The Chargers are in the tournament if it ended today, as are your Jaguars. These are two teams that are in the top 7 in the AFC, and they're playing in your hometown. It's a massive opportunity for the Jaguars. And again, we've talked about it. Fans can affect this game because the Chargers' offensive tackles are terrible. And if it is noisy, that is the last thing Jim Harbaugh wants. You want to do Jim Harbaugh a big favor? Don't go to the game on Sunday. You'll be doing Jim Harbaugh a great service because I'm telling you, the only way the Chargers lose this game is if their tackles let them down. And so if they've got to go silent, if the tackles have to, take that extra millisecond to get going, it could be the difference in the game. That is what we are facing Sunday, is that kind of a game, that kind of a matchup. If you want to make Jim Harbaugh happy, stay home.
Let's say hello to Rick Ballou.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnicht. Nimnicht Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnicht Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
Boy, big one on Sunday. We were just talking about
Yeah.
it. Rick. You can change the narrative right back to we're feeling good, can't you? I mean, it could flip that quickly.
Yeah, and no one's traveled more this year than the Los Angeles Chargers. I think that is a factor somewhat, although I don't think I can use that, or anyone can, as an excuse for Jacksonville and some of their long trips. This is the third time that they've come here to the Eastern time zone, so you hope that is a little bit of a factor. And we all know about the Jaguars' injuries. The Chargers are beaten up even worse.
Right.
That offensive line is ripped apart. They're on their third running back. I think it's a real good opportunity. The problem is, if you look at the splits, and I know we don't talk about splits in the NFL the way we do, say, in Major League Baseball, but Justin Herbert in the last 5 games is completely opposite of what he did in the first 5 games. He is, and they're averaging 10 points more a game in the last 5 games than they did in the first 5 games.
So they found something.
Yeah, absolutely.
It looks like they found
but it's hard to, it doesn't make sense considering all the guys they lost on offense.
Right.
You would think they would get worse.
Yeah.
Instead, the exact opposite has happened.
Very good point. What's going up tonight?
Well, we got all that. We're going to, just kind of relive how, yesterday was and what Liam Cohen had to say about that today, and Trevor Lawrence taking it an extra step, and really the focus of this matchup, how they've completely forgotten about the playoff come-from-behind victory. I didn't really understand how ironic that was until today, that Jacksonville blew that lead, yet here comes the opponent that blew the biggest lead in franchise history. Even though it was right there in front of me, didn't really even occur to me until earlier this afternoon.
Same here. I didn't think about it either. Good point. A team that knows all about blowing leads. Thank you, Rick. Rick Beluga's into the night. That comes up right now. Folks, that'll do it for our program. Remember, tomorrow now, 2 to 4 tomorrow. That's our Thursday time. Hayes will be, and I will be here. We'll have Greg McGarity in talking college football as well. We're out here. For Hayes and JJ, I'm Frank Frangie. So long.